Making video games is often a thankless job. A lot of people don't get the kind of credit a Todd Howard, a Hideo Kojima, or a Shigeru Miyamoto get. A lot of people come in, punch a clock, and work more than they actually should. And a lot of the time, you're kind of creating art or code for a company that's gonna fire you after the game's done. It's tough for developers, so sometimes they just gotta do stuff that amuses them. Easter eggs, goofy little things that devs like to sneak in themselves. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on GameRanks, 10 things developers added when they got bored. Without any further ado, let's start off with number 10. It's Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty's Wolfenstein Easter egg. Let's start with one of the most elaborately weird Easter eggs of them all. It started with a weird code on some statues in the original Cyberpunk game, which somehow led all the way to a Wolfenstein arcade game. The path to finding this secret, it's so beyond convoluted, and all the credit goes to the FF06B5 subreddit for working out the mysteries of Cyberpunk, so jerks like us can slap a waypoint on a map, go straight to the solution without doing the legwork. And in all actuality, this Easter egg is just a stepping stone to more secrets, but I'm sparing my brain for all that now. Let's just talk about this hidden little game within a game called Arasaka Tower 3D. It's not the only arcade game they've added to the game, but it's one of the most elaborate. The gameplay is a recreation of Johnny's assault on Arasaka Tower, where you have to go through the gunning down the Arasaka goons and reach blah blah blah. Detonate the bomb. You know, you've played Cyberpunk. The whole thing's a pretty accurate riff on Wolfenstein 3D though, right down to all the boxy levels and sliding wall secrets. There's even a more elaborate secret hiding in this thing related to the big FF06B5 secret, but we'd be here all day. I'm not doing that. This is the most complex thing on this list by a long shot. The only way to explain it is either extreme dedication or extreme boredom, maybe a mix of the two. At number 9 is Watch Dogs Legion, the Top Hat Cat Tea Time. Sometimes developers throw in random immersion-breaking stuff in the dark corners of their games. Things that have just no reason to be there. Seems like it's a developer screwing around, making themselves laugh or something. Ubisoft games usually pretty buttoned up, but for some reason, Watch Dogs Legion in particular is one of the more crazy games when it comes to Easter eggs. I think all those long delays kind of got to some of the map designers, because they went a little nuts here. There's a lot to talk about, but one of the most oddball secrets I've ever seen in the series can be found in the Three Hawker Boys pub up on the second floor. Throw down a spider drone and walk into the fireplace. It looks like a completely solid brick wall, but if you push up against it, it's revealed to be a false wall that flips up and there's a secret room behind it. How do you describe this? There's some toy cats in chairs wearing top hats sitting around a tea set with piles of boxes with eyes in the background and milk cartons lying all over the place. The only real purpose this place serves is to show you a map where other random white cats can be found. It's a secret room just for its own sake. Guaranteed to be about entertaining the game developers. And number 8 is the Gun Cow from Wreckfest. There are things that players are meant to find, like the previous entries, and then there's stuff that's a little more nebulous. In Wreckfest, there's all kinds of goofy things hiding outside the boundaries of the map. Depending on what platform you're on, these secrets can be hard to find on a vehicle, but I think anyone can fall back on the camera mode to sniff these things out. For some reason, and that's going to be a constant refrain in this video, someone making Wreckfest decided to hide a cow with a Tommy gun far outside the regular racetrack on the Eagle Peak map. It's just standing there in a normal field with some regular old cows, and it's packing heat. That's just the start of it, too. That developer must have been really bored, because there's so much more hidden around. There's an entire UFO on another map, hieroglyphics scattered around that explain the story. If you need deep lore in your rally race games, Wreckfest, it has it. And number 7 is Star Wars Jedi Survivor Rick the Door Technician, a bizarre non sequitur that isn't really even an Easter egg. It's just right there in the game along the critical path, but it sure feels like it's supposed to be an Easter egg. It's definitely a joke, at least. When you're infiltrating the Imperial base on Kobo, this guy appears in front of you with a full health bar, implying he's a boss fight. Of course, his name is Rick the Door Technician, which doesn't exactly strike fear in his enemies, and you can kill him in a single hit. So so it's just a weird joke the developers threw in to amuse themselves. It's completely out of place, and it serves no purpose. It's the sort of thing that you'd expect to see hidden behind some kind of Easter egg, but it's not. He's just there. It's Rick. It's Rick, everybody. Rick, the door technician. Hey, Rick. Tell me about doors. Maybe explain the whole Mr. Door thing from Alan Wake 2 that they haven't wrapped up. Looking forward to that DLC. Oh, I'm just kidding, Rick. I'm chopping you in half now. And number 6 is Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway, the Pew Pew gun. This World War II shooter, which intentionally models off the HBO show Band of Brothers, is about as self-serious and po-faced as a shooter gets. So, how is there a secret weapon in it called the Pew Pew gun, which is a cat that shoots a laser? How is that? Oh, it's made by Gearbox. That explains it. The Borderlands guys. Those guys put something stupid in their games? What? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Finding it is absurd, though. You have to shoot a bunch of building corners to somehow trigger it. There aren't any targets or really anything to signify that what you're doing is right. You just have to shoot some random spots on the map in this one specific area in a one specific level and hope it works. If it does, a green orb will just appear in the room. You go into it and you retrieve the Pew Pew gun, along with a saw gun that's not quite as ridiculous, but just as overpowered. The cat gun can just mow guys down. It's stupid, but it's also pretty effective. And number 5 is the Talos Principle, Papers, Please / movie theater secret. Either Crow Team are some of the most bored developers out there, or they just love Easter eggs because their games are absolutely filled with them. The Talos Principle especially is filled to the brim with secrets that are mostly purposeless. They're just little rewards for the curious. Most of these things are understandably small, but for some reason they decided to get elaborate with the World B4, where you turn around right as you enter the arena and you find a secret sliding wall that has an entry denied stamp on it right out of the game Papers, Please. In a nearby puzzle, you can find a green stamp hidden on a surface with some other junk, and if you take it and use it on the wall, and fall down in a fully modeled theater filled with TV screens that have the developers' heads on them. You can, of course, just leave, but if you stick around, a little movie will actually start to play, showing some charmingly basic Serious Sam footage, arguably the developer's most famous series. Like most of the Easter eggs in Talos Principle, it's goofy, and they put more effort into it than you'd expect, and was necessary. And number 4 is Unreal 2: The Awakening's Secret Dance Party. The less loved sequel to Unreal still has merits. It's got some pretty good Easter eggs, at very least. The game's other claim to fame, having the highly detailed female companion predating Half-Life 2, is the only thing that makes it notable for most people. But for our purposes, the Easter eggs are really what we need. There's a lot of them, and they're about as pointless as you'd expect. You can't even find this place normally. The only way to see it is to cheat. And when you do, it takes you to this cockpit filled with dancing alien creatures called sea goats. A big Unreal 2 spinning logo, balloons with sea goats on them, some dance floor lights. I mean, it's something. The best one's this guy just spinning in place. Much respect to the spinning guy. And number 3 is Flight Simulator, playing Flight Simulator in Flight Simulator. Added to the Flight Simulator 40th anniversary patch, the devs made it possible to play the first 4 Flight Simulator games, going all the way back to 1982, while you're in the cockpit of a plane in this game. It really shows how far the technology has come and how bored the developers were. To actually do this, you need a specific plane, the Diamond DA62. Once you're in the cockpit, you need to roll down the ELT switch on the corner of the digital display. If that makes sense to you, congratulations. You're now playing old Flight Simulator games. You have to use the on-screen keyboard to do anything, which makes these games nearly unplayable, but it's still an impressive little Easter egg that shows off just how far the series has come in the last 40 years. And number 2 is Street Fighter VI's Animal Commentary. This one is about as pointless and bizarre as it gets. In Street Fighter VI, the game gives you the option to play with commentary, like what you'd hear during the tournaments in story mode. It's basically the sort of commentary you get from a wrestling game, so it's something most players leave off. There is a funny little secret connected to it, though. If you leave the commentary on and then input a certain code at the versus screen, animal sounds will take over the commentary. Just a bunch of stock animal sounds playing over your match, and it is completely ridiculous. I mean, genuinely hilarious. Also, imagine a Hadouken connecting followed by a goat baaing, or a cow mooing, or a cat meowing. The code might look familiar to old Street Fighter fans too. It's the Street Fighter 2 alt color code. I remember using it all the time, so seeing it come back here is a nostalgia trigger. The zoo sounds, however, I mean, I went to a zoo when I was a kid, for sure, but not the same thing. At number 1 is Google. Oh, Google, huh? Yeah, that's not a game. Yeah, I know. Stick with me on this one. The devs at Google can't spend all of their time making search much worse than it used to be. You know, they have to spend some time randomly throwing darts at a board to decide how visibility works. I mean, that has to take up a fair amount of their time. And none of that sounds fun. It all sounds boring. And I'm sure that at some point, rather than ending it all, they decide to do something a little fun. Sometimes this has led to some creative little secrets hidden in specific searches. They've done it with Star Fox and The Last of Us in the past, but their most recent experiment is easily my favorite. Just type in Katamari into Google, try it out, click the Katamari on the right side of the screen, start rolling. Just like in the games, it'll grab everything that rolls over the page, eventually creating a big clump of crap on the screen while the actual page is reduced to a couple of stray letters. It is a creative and fun mini game that does justice to its inspiration and obviously exists to waste a few minutes on. Kudos to you, Google devs, when you actually, take the reins and do something nice rather than gradually destroy people's access to information in favor of advertisements that, yes, do keep us paid here at GameRanks. I understand that I'm biting the hand that feeds, but still, a search engine should be better than that, right? Anyway, Katamari, lots of fun. I'm sure the devs sympathize with literally everything I just said, and I'm sure that rolling over their sponsored results is probably also satisfying to them, to at least some extent. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on GameRanks.